We're talking about Thunderhill East, the traditional 3-mile track, where we're using the bypass configuration. And we'll go through turn by turn. There'll be time at the end for questions, if anyone has any. So here's an overview of what the track looks like. Let's annotate that a little bit with corner numbers and locations. A schematic map will look something like this. And we can make this particular map available if people are interested in it. So let's go through. We're gonna start right around start finish, where it says start finish there, SF on the track. That's actually a corner worker station as well, and shown the little red marker there. And we zoom in a little bit. That green arrow in the bottom left indicates where we enter the track. As I mentioned, there's a corner worker there. That's the start finish stand. You're not going to enter the track until someone tells you to. There'll be the starter, a re-entry person there, or someone in the stand will indicate when it's safe to go out on track. An important feature of this presentation here, you'll notice I added another red circle. I'm highlighting the corner worker stations. These are very important for you to check in with the corner workers all the time. They are your friends. The corner stations in use on the weekend may be a little different from what I'm showing you in this presentation. So on your outlaps, the corner workers are holding yellow flags. Make sure you know where all of them are. Look at all of them every single lap. In your classroom sessions, there may be someone that says, hey, which corner worker had the blue hat, right? You need to be able to look at them and understand where they are and read the language they communicate through the flags. So another important thing here as we get on the track is this blend line that I've indicated in orange. As you enter the track, you do not cross that blend line. I don't care if the track is cold, you know for sure nobody's on the track, do not cross the blend line. You stay to the right of that all the way around. If you do cross the blend line unscathed, you'll still have to come back and talk to somebody about that. So here we are sitting in the pit lane. We're about to get on to the track. The start finish tower there is visible just to the left. This is our view. We're ready to roll. So we are right here. We've left the start finish stand. That blue dotted line is right over the checkered painted line of the track start finish stripe. So we're right there at that location. We'll use that as a reference point in the future here. There's my blend line indicated by that orange line. I do not want to cross that. So I head out on track. Here I'm now deep into turn one. I am still to the right of that blend line, and you can see that blend line comes pretty far around the corner. I'm staying right the whole way. My apex for turn one is that little triangle on the left side of the screen. I'm ignoring that. I'm entering the track. People who are already on the track, that's where they are. So we establish that big separation. They may be going quite a bit faster. That's why we want that separation. Looking ahead, I can see the turn two corner worker. I can't see turn two because there's a crest. So now I've completed a lap. We're done. Sorry, we're completing a lap, and here we're coming back to the start finish line on track, and there's that blend line again. Now I'm allowed to cross it, right? If it's clear, if there's no one in that line, if no one's coming on track, if someone is on that line, then I don't cross it. I just have a little bit of less track to work with. If it's clear, that gives me a wider entry to turn one, and I can go into turn one more quickly. So I've gotten over to the right. I've gotten slowed down. Here's my turn-in point. Let's back up a little bit. Where are my reference points for braking? Sometimes there are little cones and candlesticks out there, but if there's not, to the right, we've got all these changes happening in the fencing. There's a grandstand, there's trees, there's all sorts of stuff going on. You need to start to really rely on your peripheral vision. You want to be looking to the left. You see that red circle where the corner 2 worker is. Your eyes you want to tend to be going over that way, but you pick up these things on the right with your peripheral vision. And here again, I can see, here I am at turn in, there's trees, there's light poles, so on, things that I can rely on. But again, I'm looking to the left. My apex cone and apex curve are over there. That's where I'm focused, there and beyond towards the exit. Now, look at the advantage I have by crossing that blend line. I have all this extra track to work with. That gives me a much bigger radius that I can work with. So that's why I cross that. Here I am in the near the apex of turn 2. My eyes are out here at the exit curbing. That's where I'm looking. I'm looking at the exit curbing and beyond. Now I've made it out to the exit curbing. There's my exit cone. It's pretty far down the curbing. My apex and exit, I want to be fairly late. This is a very fast corner. I can't see turn 2. Where is it? We've got a crest. I rely on that corner work to let me know if there's an issue. Someone trying to ask a question? Okay. So let's review turn 1 again from the top. I pass the start finish stripe. I work my way to the right. I use that width. I've got all these things to the right to give me references for braking. I have this relatively late apex and a late exit as I come through this corner. So here's turn 2. Again, I'm coming in from turn 1 on the bottom left. This is a big corner. It is 600 feet across the infield from one side to the other. So you're dealing with about 900 feet of track through this corner. It's a very large corner. Here I am at the entrance to the corner. I've got my turn-in cone indicated here. One of the things I want to do is be looking ahead, at least one reference point. I talked about at the turn-in for turn 1. I'm looking ahead to the apex and towards the exit. Where's my next reference point? So we want to get familiar with the driver's side window on this track. The exit is 600 feet over to the left. We want to start using that window and looking ahead in the corner. So here I am. You can see the little circle that indicates the position of the track. I've just barely entered the corner. I have a long way to go. The driver is right of center. This is a nice conservative line. I'm not diving in to the inside curbing. I'm keeping it out for a bit. Here again, I'm not even halfway through the corner. There is a lot of corner left to go. I'm a little bit past halfway. There's still a lot of corner to go. You can see the driver's working down towards the inside a little bit. Now I can finally see the apex. So if I'm a novice driver, I've probably been at neutral throttle through this big long corner. I'm not speeding up, I'm not slowing down, I'm just maintaining a neutral throttle. But as I see my apex and my exit cone out here, now I could start to squeeze the throttle with some confidence. I know where the track's going. Here I am at the exit. Some people tend to pinch this off. Use that full width. Use that full width. It's available to you. Turn 3, I cannot see. You'll run. This is a recurring thing. I cannot see turn 3. There's a crest there. So what am I going to do? You see the driver's holding a little steering to the left. I'm going to come out a little bit from the track. But here again, here's my view from the top. I've got that single late apex way in. This particular line, I'm staying out and working my way to mid-track and gradually working my way to the inside. You'll see advanced drivers taking a different line. And we talk about this a lot in the AB classroom. We'll talk about it in the data classroom. There are other ways to take this corner. As a novice, this conservative line is a nice way to start out. Sort of reminiscent of turn 2 at Laguna Seca, but it's on a bigger scale. So now let's look at the next set. And this sequence of corners, 3 through 6, they kind of start to blend together. So we're going to be looking at more than one corner at a time. Again, I'm coming in here. I'm coming in from turn 2 at the top right. If you look at the little display map of the track, I got a little blue box that indicates roughly where I am on this track. So I'm coming in from turn 2. Here I'm back in the car. My driver, after exiting 2, moved a little bit back to the left. The driver is still right of center, and we'll talk about why the driver's right of center as we proceed through this corner. There's my crest. My crest is dead ahead. I need to slow down for turn 3. Do I want to slow down on the uphill side of a crest or the downhill side of the crest? It is a lot easier to brake on the uphill side. So you can see my driver has got 0.8 of a G of braking in that little G diagram down in the bottom center. So the driver is braking heavily before the crest. You can play around with that braking point as you learn the track, but it's best to start before the crest because it's a little tricky on the other side. So here we are. We've crossed the crest. You can see the road falls away to the outside. So this is why I want it to be a little bit right of center. I don't want to get out there. It tends to be dirt and marbles, and the camber's not good. I'd rather not be there. So here I am. I'm looking to the right and I'm steering to the right. I cannot see my apex, right? It is out there off to the right. And I'm steering towards it. I still can't see it. I'm here deeper in the corner. I'm still steering to the right. I'm working my way gradually to the inside. Now I can probably see it right at the end of that curbing there, somewhere around there. Eventually, I want to get my right side tires up on that curbing. I want to be on that right side because I have a left turn coming up. Turn 3 is really a compromise corner. I'm kind of throwing away part of the corner because I really want to set myself up for turn 4. And at this point, I should be really looking through 4 and thinking about 4. I'm using 3 really just to set myself up for 4. So as I come around to my apex, it's very clearly visible here, and I'm still steering a little bit right because I don't want to turn into 4 too early. I want to get the car set up well for turn 4 for a nice late apex to 4 as well. So as I pass the end of the curbing there, now I'm getting ready. I'm straightening out. I'm getting ready. I want to make use of that driver's side window. I need to be looking through the apex and out to the exit. There's my apex. My exit wasn't visible. Now it becomes visible. This is a fairly late apex. There's a little bit of banking to work with. The track rises a little bit to the apex, the exit. I want to drive. I want to have the car carry out to the apex, to the exit with momentum. Most people tend to pinch that corner off. If we look at what a good exit looks like, it's about like this. I am over to the right side. I see so many people mid-tracking this. They're mid-tracking it because they're like, well, I need to get to the left. Well, use the full available track to the right and then get back. You can see my driver's holding a little bit of left steering. Sometimes you just kind of hold a little left steering as you exit this corner because you know you're going to come back a little bit to the left. Now the camera car was on a weekend where we're using the turn at the top of the hill there, where we are not at our track events. So don't use that unless your car has a breakdown, you need to park somewhere. We're going to be going to the left through the bypass. But look to the right for that corner worker. It's easy to ignore that corner worker because they're so far away from where you're going. Your eyes naturally go to the left. There's a whole bunch of track that you cannot see at all. And you don't want to get to the top of the crest and go, oh my goodness. You want that corner worker to be your eyes to looking ahead to the rest of the track. So here we are taking a summary of of this complex from the top. You can see my late apex for 3, and again my late apex for 4. And I use the full exit coming out of 4 and before I work my way back to set up for the bypass. So let's move forward a little bit. And now we're focusing on the bypass. This is a big crest. You can't see beyond it. It's relatively steep on the way up and the way down. Again, we're coming in from 4. So I've switched to a different car here. This is my other camera car. This car is going to be taking us through the bypass. And again, look, the driver's holding some steering in. You can't see clearly, but the driver's holding the wheel at roughly 9 3. And you look at the hand position, the driver is holding a little steering to get set up for the bypass. And the driver's still holding a little bit of steering as he approaches the bypass. And at this point, right before the crest, the driver is actually steering a little bit to the right. Now, most people need to slow down for the bypass. So what's my guidance for slowing down when there's a crest? Slow down on the uphill side. Car slows down really, really well over the uphill side. The other thing to think about is when I go over a crest, the back end will tend to get light. You know, the front end gets light and then it comes down and the back end gets light. Having the back end light is not my favorite thing. So I like to get my slowing down done early so I can get back to a neutral throttle. I want to come over. Here I am at the top of the crest. My steering's neutral. I got neutral throttle. The car is just on this trajectory. Now the road falls away. I can't, you know, I may not be able to see the road at all. Where am I going? If you look straight ahead, look at all those reference points. It's very easy to pick some reference points, and with some practice, you know exactly, am I pointed in the right direction? Am I too far left, too far right? Really get your eyes up and ahead and use those distant reference points when they can help you. Here I am coming down. I call this landing on the other side of the bypass. I've been very light. I don't want to give the car a lot of inputs when everything's very light. As I come down, I get my traction back, especially in the front. And this little section of track that I'm feeding into, I'm rejoining the main track. This little section is called Turn 5A. And I'm again steering to the right. I've got my traction back. I'm steering to the right, my eyes to the right. I can't see where I'm going. But I'm looking ahead, I'm visualizing ahead to where I'm going through this corner. So let's review that again from the top. So I'm going to track left coming out of 4, then I'm going to aim right. The reason I do this, I come left and aim a little right, is here where the track comes together, where it merges, it gets bumpy right there. It's not the worst thing in the world if you're too far right and you hit that bumps, it upsets the car a little bit. This next time through, adjust your aim a little bit. You want to be just to the left of that bumpy section of track. And as I come down and I land, well, first over the crest, I want a little bit of throttle. I want neutral throttle, keep the back end happy. And then as I get the weight back on the tires, I want to steer right into 5A. Again, 5A is going to be a throwaway like 3. So we've moved ahead into 5A, and now we're looking at 6. So 6 is an important corner. It leads into a very fast section of track. I want to do 6 well. So it's just as well that 5A is a little bit of a throwaway. So again, I'm coming in over the bypass. Here I am sort of finishing up 5A, looking ahead. My turn into turn 6 is way over there to the right. I don't need to be hard right on that white stripe. Right here in the corner, maybe I'll leave the car out a little bit. I don't want to be way over. See the pavement on the left there? It's very gray. That means nobody uses it. So I don't want to be up there. So this is slightly right of center. That seems like a happy place to be. So as I approach the turn-in point to turn 6, now I want to start getting closer to that white stripe. There's my turn-in off in the distance. What I'd really like to do is find a little straight here. I want to straighten out the car a little bit and get nice and stable. The reason for that is turn 6 is a classic slow in, fast out. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of speed here so I can get some stability so that I get a really nice run through turn 6. My exit of turn 6 is way more important than hustling through 5A and, getting there slightly faster. Here I am at my turn in for 6. I got my turn in cone there. But my eyes, again, my driver's side window, it's my friend. I got to be looking out to the apex and exit. I want to be looking 1 to 2 reference points ahead as they come through here. So there's my apex cone, that little thing near the A column. It's way over there. It's a relatively late apex. Slow in, fast out tends to be a little bit later apexes. There's my apex cone. Again, I'm about to run over it, and I'm looking off into the distance to my exit curbing, and my exit cone is out towards the end of that. So I want to think everything is late through this corner, late apex, late exit. Here I am at my exit. Again, you can see the cone. I'm looking ahead towards turn 7, which is more of a dog leg than a real turn. So let's take a look, review my run through here. As I come through 5A, I may be a little bit right of center. I work my way to the right of the track. I want to create a little bit of a straight there to stabilize the car coming into turn 6. Late apex, late exit. And I really want to focus on the apex of that corner coming out, or the exit of that corner. Focus on a nice, good exit. Here I am at turn 7, big corner. I'm coming in from the exit of 6 here. There's some access roads that I'm going to refer to. So I'll just label them 1, 2, and 3 as I come through here. So here I am at the entry to turn 2. My access road number 1 is just there to the left, slightly off screen. See, the driver's turned in, but very, very small hand movement. You want to have very slow hand. The faster the corner is, typically the slower your hands are going to be. You would like for someone who's sitting in the passenger seat, if their eyes are closed, they don't know exactly when you turn the steering wheel. They just know, oh, you're turning. Here I am at the apex of this corner. Don't think so much about, oh, there's my apex cone. This is a region, an apex region. It's kind of an indistinct sort of apex that lasts over a significant period of time. And I'm looking way ahead. Always fast corners look way down the track. So here I am at my exit of 7. I have passed that second access road that I showed, and there's my third access road there up ahead as in the approach to turn 8. At this point, I have gained a lot of speed. Turn 8 is sharper than turn 7. I'm going to need to slow down. You look around, there's not a lot of reference points to work with. That access road is something that gives you some sort of reference point. But we'll talk about that as we get into turn 8. So again, here's my view from the top. I have that late apex from 6, and I gently bend the car in and have that really long apex through 7 and get myself set up on the right side of the track for turn 8. Turn 8 is beyond that third access road. Here's what turn 8 looks like. Coming in from 7. There's my third access road. You can see the driver is already gently starting to bend in. And there's my entrance cone. You do not want to be have an early apex to this, but you have slow hands through this corner because, again, it's a fast corner. I should be looking through the apex all the way to the exit and that straightaway that leads to turn 9. So I want to really be looking as far ahead as I can through this corner. There's my entrance cone there. There's that third access road. So somewhere before that third access road, I'm going to be slowing down the car. There's a couple ways to do that. One is to do a lift. The other is to do a brake. Probably never going to do a hard brake with most cars we drive. It'd be a relatively light brake. One of the main things is I want to get that done early. I want to get that out of the way. With a fast corner, I generally like to get the braking done out of the way. With this corner here, I like to get to throttle relatively early. Before I get to the apex, I'm on the throttle. Shortly after turn in, I'm touching the throttle, right? And I start to get to neutral throttle before I get to the apex. And I need to make sure I get slowed down, get all that out of the way before I get back to throttle. I don't want to rush myself. If you rush yourself, you might stab the throttle. We don't need that. So here I am at the apex, taking a relatively late apex. I'm looking all the way down the track through here, relatively high G's. Many of your cars will go this fast or faster. This driver's doing 87. The car in question is a 2002 Alpina that gets around the track at a reasonable pace for a little 4-cylinder car. And the driver's driving fairly conservatively and, not really pushing this vintage car. I see people with very capable cars coming through here at 75 miles per hour. And to fix that, you really need to get your eyes way ahead, get your slowing down done way ahead of time, and keep your hands moving slowly through this corner. Okay, here we are at the exit. If you look where we are positioned on the track, the driver is using a little bit of that apex or exit curbing. Sorry, we're at the exit using a little bit of exit curbing. And if you look farther right, there's even more asphalt out there. There's my apex cone. If I run into trouble and maybe I'm coming in a little hot, I'd rather run over that apex cone or that exit cone than do anything radical. So why is that? These skid marks here are from people who tried to do something radical. Maybe they lifted off the throttle, yanked the steering wheel, or did both. If you do that, you can throw the car into a spin. You can be sliding sideways off the track, sideways and backwards off the track. We don't want that. What we want to do is keep our focus to the right. If you're too hot, go ahead and run over that cone, use that dirt, and then bring the car back very gradually. Ideally, my eyes are all the way down the track and I'm driving all the way down the track. That's where we want to be. But those skid marks going off to the left, we don't want that. So stay committed to the corner. And if you make a mistake, the mistake should bring you off to the right rather than hooking back over to the left. So again, here's my top view of this corner. This is a relatively, first, this is my graphic from turn 7. It showed, this is the line that I drew for turn 7. You can see turn 8 is definitely sharper than turn 7. And we're going faster because we've been accelerating since turn 6, most likely. So turn 8, this is a relatively conservative line through turn 8. Advanced drivers are going to take something with a little bit more aggressive apex on it. But, really get to know the corner and, take a conservative late apex before you get any more aggressive with the corner. And you can see to the right, there's a whole car width of asphalt out there beyond the exit curbing. That's where you'd rather be if you make a mistake and come in hot. All right, turn 9 is kind of complicated and a lot of fun once you get to know it well. So again, we're coming in from turn 8. This straightaway, you eat it up really fast. It's a pretty decent sized straightaway if you look at the map, right? But you're carrying a lot of speed. So you come up on turn 9 relatively quickly. Turn 8, we're talking a lift or brush of the brake. Turn 9, there's a real braking zone here. There's a crest. That corner worker station is near the top of the crest. So you're climbing up into that corner. You can take advantage of that change in elevation. It tends to give you better traction. Keep in mind that as you go over the crest, that traction goes away. Okay, here we are approaching turn 9. As I mentioned, it's a pretty major braking zone. So we're some distance away, but our driver is already 0.7 of a G of braking. There's a little access road that leads to the 2-mile track that's over there to the right. That's a useful reference point. Again, there's not a lot of reference points. The track's going to the left. There's my corner worker station. I cannot see what's on the other side of the hill. That corner worker is my friend and will let me know if there's a problem on the other side. Here I am at roughly turn in. You can see that access road again to the right. That's kind of a real good reference point for where you turn in. The driver has turned in already, given the position of their hands and the little movement of the trace on the G circle. So, reference points don't have to be a point where I do this thing exactly at this reference point. You can go, okay, a car length before this reference point, I take my action, or 2 car lengths or whatever. But they're useful reference points. As we talk about useful reference points, let's look at this apex cone. This is not a Golden Gate chapter event that where this video was shot. I don't like that apex cone. I don't know why they put it there. So I'm going to switch to another camera car. This is from a Golden Gate chapter event. There's the apex cone. It is definitely earlier, and as you, it's still conservative. You can see it there, and even closer. It's past the midpoint of that curbing, but it's not at the end of the curbing. So this is still a relatively conservative apex point, and we'll talk about why we don't want to put that apex cone too late. So here again, I'm back in my original camera car. He's aiming for what looks like an earlier apex than that cone. He's not fixated, oh, the cone's there, I need to touch it. He's aiming for an apex. It's about there. It's a little bit past my midpoint. So it's still somewhat conservative. If you look at video from race cars, you'll find an earlier apex point that they use, but there are reasons why you may want to work up to that. One of those is, as you look ahead, you can't see anything. Where's my exit? So being a little conservative is useful. Here we are at the exit point. We're up on this crest. That shiny bit of pavement to the right is my exit curbing. And I like to be a little bit further right. So I've got video from my race car, camera car. There's my exit curbing. This driver's right up on it. That's where you'd like to get to eventually, using that full width. And if you take the car slow and you find that, then you can add a little bit of speed. You don't want to come flying over and with an early apex and find the dirt. So the reason I don't like that super late apex is this. I see this all too often. Here I am nominally at the exit of the corner. There's my exit curbing. I got room for an entire whole nother car to the right of this car. I'm not using that apex or that exit at all. So this is pinching the corner. I'm leading into a long straightaway. I've had to overslow the car to take this line. So that's why I'm not a big fan of this line. If you find yourself here, you find yourself mid-track, don't panic. It's fine. Next time through, adjust the way you do your steering. Maybe you apex a tiny bit earlier. Maybe you unwind the wheel a little bit sooner. You want to make a series of very small adjustments. If you make adjustments that are too big, if you look to the outside of that exit curbing, you can see no grass grows. You would not be the first one to go out there, but we'd like to avoid that. So make small adjustments. So as I'm going into the 910 straightaway, one thing I notice is this is not straight. If I look ahead to that little brown patch of dirt, that's roughly where I'm going to go if I go straight. So let's take another look at this, an aerial view. What I want to do is I want to fully exit turn 9, and as I come out of that, going straight, that'll carry me to the left. So I let the car move left somewhat, but I want to work my way back to the right for the next corner. Once I get back to the right, it's a passing zone. I can point people by or whatever. So don't worry if the car moves a little bit left. As you do point buys, make sure you're getting to the right. You know, you don't want to point someone by when you're going to, push them off the track. So here's my aerial view again. I'm turning in somewhere near that access road, mid to late apex, using the full exit and then allowing the car to work left. Here's turn 10 coming in from the left. It's a fairly straightforward corner. But as I approach it, again, I got another crest. I can't see the corner. So what's my rule? I'd like to get my braking done, or at least started on the uphill side. So here we can see our camera car. The drivers got heavy braking before the crest, and easing out of the brake on the downhill and starting to turn into the corner. Now, if I look through the corner, what I can see is I got a little bit of rise to the outside. So I've got some very nice banking here. Turn 10 is, once you get to know it, you might find that it's a little bit faster than you thought it was initially because of that banking catches you. And I can catch a glimpse of the exit curbing there on the outside. As I come through the apex, I see the exit curbing again. I'm looking ahead. I want to get all the way right through here. And here again, I can see the banking. That road's coming up. That banking catches me, and my car really likes it. Here I'm at the exit curbing, looking ahead. This turn 11 corner worker station is very important. It is a black flag station. There may be black flag all situations where they want to clear all the cars off the track, or maybe a personal black flag. In that case, they'll tend to point at you. They may have a little number plaque that to get your attention. You do not want to miss one of those black flags. I did that once many years ago, and every corner worker waved a black flag and pointed at me for the next lap, so that I knew for sure that I had missed a black flag. Don't miss that. Sometimes when we're trying to clear the track quickly, they may drop a checkered flag at this location. And again, you don't want to miss that. You don't want that lap of shame when you miss a checkered. So my turn-in point is relatively late for this corner, and my apex is very late. I'm compromising this corner so I can set up for the S's, the 11 and 12. So here I am, heavy braking because I'm coming through 10 very fast. And but it's a very short shoot. I'm more interested in my exits from 11, so I'm willing to really brake hard and get woed up for that corner. If you look at the car in front, the white car in front, its brakes are still on. Brake lights are still on. So with novices, we focus on straight line braking. But as you master that, as you're really solid and consistent with straight line braking, you're talk to your instructor about trail braking. This is a great corner to start to explore what that's like. So here I am. I have turned into the corner. I'm looking for that very late apex through this corner. Still haven't quite apexed. I'm approaching that curb. And you'll notice I have this banking that I'm working with, gives me great traction, but that white car is on top of a crest. So if I don't get my turning done, then I'm going to be working in a situation where the car doesn't want to stick to the road. So get that turning done with that late apex. The apex there is hidden by the driver's hands. Now I've mostly finished 11. You could see the driver still holding a little bit of steering. But I'm looking way ahead. I want to get my eyes focused on the exit of 13. I want to be smoothing out this section of track. These three corners work together. I'm at my apex at 12. There's a significant amount of pavement to the right of the camera car. Some people use that. It gets very bumpy out there, but it does allow you to straighten out 12. Again, I'm looking way ahead. There's my 13 apex and exit coming through my 13 apex. This is a super flat curb. I love to drive on top of that. Sometimes I need to do a gear shift. I like to do it before I get to here. I may do it between 12 and 13. Look where the white car is. It is driving out to the right. So often you'll see people hold the car to the left because they got to be on the left for turn 14. Well, turn 14 is at the end of a long straight, right? Let me focus on 13 while I'm in 13, drive it properly, and then worry about getting over to the left. So there's my exit for 13, way over there on the right side. And you can see the white car fully exited, and now it's starting to work its way back across the track. So this is what it looks like from above. I get that late turn in, very sharp corner. The sharpest part of the corner, I've got some a rise in the track that gives me a lot of traction. As I come through 11 and I'm tending to straighten out, that's where the crest is. And I'll try to find a nice smooth line through 12 and 13. Treat it as one big complex. And 13, I'm fully exiting, getting all the way out there. So next is 14, 15. Treat this as a complex. What people sometimes don't really think about is 14 is way sharper than 15. 14 is much slower because it's such a sharp corner. And then that gives 15 a much bigger radius, the way it's shaped. So I'm coming in from left there. Here I am. I've moved back to the right. I still can't see turn 14. It's beyond the bridge there. Here I am. I'm right underneath the bridge. And now I can finally see turn 14. It's slight downhill into here. And again, you might think, what are my reference points? Where are my braking reference points? If you look to the right, there's all sorts of stuff over there. You don't want to stare at it, right? But you need to work on training your peripheral vision to pick out among all those different things, what's a good reference point. There's a little spot that's a little bit brighter than some of the others, and that's an interesting spot. Let's see how that develops as we go through this corner. So at this point, the driver is probably just coming off the gas and their foot's moving over to the brakes. And you see that's a braking G that's consistent with engine braking as they're moving their foot across. And there's my bright spot. It's gotten a little bigger. Now the driver has worked into heavy braking. You can see 8/10 of a G. There's my bright spot. That's the end of a tire wall where there's an access road. So that's not going to move around. That'll be there from weekend to weekend. There's also the trees, the fence posts. Sometimes I'll use like a change in color of some of the tires, but those get rearranged. So fixed things like the end of a tire wall for the access road, those are interesting things. And looking way ahead, there's my turn-in point. I want to be patient. It's a sharp corner, and I don't want to turn in early. I don't want to cheat my way into the corner. I want to come all the way down here. This is a major braking zone. For most people, this is the biggest, heaviest braking zone on the track.
Yeah.
So here's my turn-in cone. I'm about to pass it by. You can see the driver is still at maximum braking for what this car will do. My eyes are going to be to the right in front of this white car. I want to be, I cannot see turn 15, but it's in the same place it's always been, so I can visualize it. I want to visualize where I'm putting the car as I come through here. So again, there's my turn-in cone. I tend to, our turn-in cones disappear, right? And so I tend to try to find other kinds of things. And I try to keep my eyes looking ahead. So I will sort of memorize what this looks like looking to the right, the shape of the tire wall, the fence, the curve of the road. And that's what tells me what's going on. I don't really want to be looking down. There's a permanent little stripe there next to the cone to tell people where to put the cone. But when I'm driving, I don't necessarily want to be looking down like that. I want to be looking to where I want the car to go. So there's a concept of a sight picture, and I like to use those in situations like this. And also, in addition, I am visualizing where I'm putting the car. I know that this is much more than 90 degrees, and I'm thinking about that and visualizing that as I come through here. So I'm turning in. This driver's doing a little bit of trail braking. You can see the riding the friction circle on the way around. I still don't see my apex. Where is my apex? I finally see it as I come significantly through the corner. There's my little apex cone right there. The white car is roughly in the middle of 1415. You can think of it as one big complex, but there's kind of a little bit in the middle where you can relax a little bit. So now my camera car is in that spot. I'm roughly in the middle. I typically never stop steering, but I might relax the steering wheel a little bit here. The reason for that is I do not want to turn in early for turn 15. That is a very bad thing to do. It's bad for safety and it is bad for performance. I want to have a nice late apex in this corner. My apex cone is way over there. So now I'm approaching that apex cone. One thing to notice is that curb is pretty big. And here my camera car is going almost 70. You hit that curb at 70 miles per hour, it's gonna upset the car a little bit. So, that little white stripe at the bottom of the curb, sure, you want to use that. You want to be tight on that curb, but you don't want to get up on it. It'll tend to upset the car. Again, I'm looking ahead. My eyes are focused way out there at that white car and beyond. At this point, it's too late to make major adjustments about the apex. Those adjustments were on my previous shot. Here, I've got my eyes ahead. I'm committed to this corner. So here I am at the exit of the corner. And again, I want to talk about staying committed to a corner. So if I mess it up, I come in too hot, I apex too early, do I want to do dramatic things to save it? What are these skid marks over here all about? These are people that tried to save it. Just stay committed to the corner. I'd rather make tire tracks out here. The grass has great difficulty growing out here. You won't be the first. And I was watching a spec Miata race, and like 3 Miatas went off, and they were driving in the dirt for 100 yards before they came back. So it's not my favorite thing to do, but if that happens, that happens. It's much better than the alternative. So that is a lap of
Cool.
of Thunderhill. I briefly want to talk about returning to the pits. Here I am at the exit of turn 13. I just stay to the right, stay to the right, stay to the right. Here's turn 14, stay to the right. There's my apex, stay to the right, stay to the right. There's my little apex road. Once I commit to the apex, to the exit road, and I've signaled that, I'm not changing my mind. If I change my mind right here, this could get very ugly. Just come through. If you're going back out on track, drive through the pits and go back on track. I make this corner and I'm headed to the pits. It's relatively straightforward. And I can either turn right into the paddock once I get in there, or go up to reentry and ask to go back out on track. And I want to talk briefly about passing. If I'm in a situation where it's not a good place to make a pass, tapping, reaching up and tapping the mirror lets the car behind know, hey, I see you. And once I tap the mirror, I put them out of my mind. I, focus on what's in front of me and focus on driving until I get to a passing zone. In this case, we are approaching turn 9. You can see that turn 9 corner worker station up on the hill. Between 9 and 10, beautiful opportunities to pass. So you can just tap and say, okay, I'll give you a point by later. That's an important thing to avoid people getting frustrated. Like, they don't even see me. Here's another passing situation. In this case, the white car has signaled a pass. Do you see there's passing signal? Right there, right. Let's zoom in. Yes, there it is. And I stopped on the frame where the hand was as far out the window as it went. We talk a lot about making big passing signals. And this is why they're very hard to see. So we signal with our hand out the car, either sticking straight out to the left or up over the roof. And you want to make it big so it's unambiguous. And what does it look like when you pass? This is one of the trickier spots to do a pass. We're coming through turn 7. The car pointed to pass, and once the offer's been made and accepted, in this particular case, the car being passed needs to make sure they leave room and don't come down to the apex. In most cases, you just drive your line. This is the one exception. Where you leave room for them to get by. So we'll talk a lot about passing. We'll talk your ears off about passing, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction. Do big signals, stay out of the way. If you've got 500 horsepower and you point by a Miata, you might want to think about easing back on the throttle a little bit. Don't do anything sudden, but ease back a little bit, just to be kind. All right, so let me open it up for questions.